Hi everyone, it's Miss Karen. We are working on the letter R, and I found this cute little craft that you make a rose, whoops, out of a paper plate. So there you go again, it just bounces out of my hand. So it's pretty simple. I went and I painted this one first with my dollar store temper paint stuff. This next one, I'm going to just, use my crayon. So there again, it's a craft with a paper plate. So all you need really is a paper plate and scissors. If you don't want to color your paper plate, that's fine. If maybe you have some red or yellow or blue paper plates at home, you can just use those. But I mean, you kind of really need to see it with the color. So first I'm just going to color this paper plate, and then with the crayon. And I'm not going to color with the paint because it took quite a while for that paint on the whole paper plate to kind of dry off. Don't worry too much about what I'm going to call the crust on the plate. Just kind of get it a little bit out there on the edges. And as I said, this actually goes pretty good. And you can make, it doesn't have to be a red rose. You could make a half dozen of these and make all kinds of different colors if you wanted. I'm actually going to try one little option on the one that I made. I'm going to do to this. So we're going to see how it works. So first off, let me show you how this goes. So we've got our plate that's colored. Okay. First thing we need to do is cut off our crust. Okay. So get your scissors. Those of you that learn how to use scissors, I mean, this is a great little exercise for you. Get lots of scissor practice. Okay, and I held mine to just outside that funky little kind of edge there. I mean, you can cut right around the edge if you kids need like a guide. It's not really going to matter too much, and you'll see why when we get down. You got to get that crust off. Okay, so now we're going to make a snail. Okay, now for some of you parents, you might need to help your kids, so just take a pencil or something and draw some loose lines here that they can follow to cut around. Okay. Because some kids, if you're a little bit too young, you're not going to quite get the visual of just cutting around and around and around. Okay? So now we have our snail. We can cut around it. Okay? Okay, so we can just cut on the lines. It's okay. You have your visual now. Okay, so we're just going to cut round and round. Just keep going round and round. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little lopsided. Matter of fact, it even will help it if it's a little bit lopsided. Okay, but you don't want to cut it too thin either. Okay, so really like this 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch size, between my little stripes here. I mean, it works the best. If you had a really bit, like a platter size plate, and your circle was a little bigger to start with, you could probably do 1 inch just fine. Okay, and then we have like our little tail. Okay, so flip it over. Okay, now we're going to take the color side. Okay, and this is where I get confused sometimes. You want to turn it inward. Okay, turn it onto itself. Okay, so color side down. We got this kind of little cool hangy down thing. We're going to take our color side and fold it inward, and we're going to kind of keep rolling it out. Okay, and pick a hand to do this with. And just you can kind of keep your finger in there around it. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of twist it around. Okay. And you want this to be kind of tight. Remember, we're making a rose, and it can be a little loose. It can be adjusted once we get it all wrapped around on the end. Just however you can get it to wrap here. And we're going to use this little tag on the end when we get there. I'll kind of show you what I did. There's a couple different ways. I've seen people, they just staple it, they tape it. I'm trying to kind of take some of that out of it. I stapled my finger when I was a little kid, so staplers are okay. This is a great craft that can pretty much just be all them. Okay, so we have our little tab. And then we just kind of, adjust this out. You can see it's starting to look like our rose, huh? Okay, so then what I did is I just kind of tucked it up. Figure out what I did again. I tucked it inside one of those layers. And it did really good holding. Okay, and you're going to have, now, see, now this one's not going to, it doesn't want to do its thing for me, but that's okay. So now this one kind of opened up. My other one, I think it was because it was the paint, it stayed really tight. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to tighten this back up, and this is where I want to do a little something extra with this one. So just kind of spin it around here and tighten it back up. So I'm going to see if I can't give this one a little bit of a, like a stem. At the bottom of my hole, there it is. Okay, so take my little tab. I'm just going to kind of go up on the side, kind of tuck it under. Just kind of work with it. Like I said, you could staple it, you could tape it. Okay, now I have a pipe cleaner. And so what I was thinking is I could maybe try and give this a little bit of a stem. I haven't really tried this. I just have a working idea here. Because we have this inside little tab that was left as well, where we started rolling on. So what I'm trying to do is bring it up to the middle and just catch it on this first little inner loop. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of pull that loop around it. And then, if you wanted to, if you had another color, you could maybe get creative and put some little leaves on here and twist it around. Okay, but there, we made a rose for Mom. Well, and this one, like I said, I think this one stayed better because it was painted, and so the paper gave a little bit more. You can always just unroll this again and just tighten it up, and you know, on a little piece of tape on it. But there, now I think it's trying to settle. So there you go. There is a rose for Mom or Grandma or whoever. Like I said, if you've got a colored paper plate, that's going to work good. But you know, I like the plain white ones. Add some more color. You can make a half dozen of these, and you could get a little mason jar, an empty mayonnaise jar, if you've got the pipe cleaners, and stick them down in there and make a little bouquet. Alright, so there we go. There's a rose, R-O-S-E, a rose for Mom, or Grandma, or sister, whoever. Alright.